What if I told you that the most powerful entities on Earth are no longer countries? That the age of nations is giving way to something new, or perhaps something very old returning? Forget the G7 or the United Nations for a moment. The real power players shaping our future, from the economy to climate change, might just be the cities we live in. Welcome to G Fun Facts Online, where today we explore why the 21st century is becoming the century of the city. This isn't a completely new idea. If you rewind the clock, history is filled with mighty city-states. Think of ancient Athens and Sparta, or the incredible trading hubs of the Renaissance like Venice and Florence. These were independent, dynamic centers of culture and innovation. The rise of the modern nation-state pushed cities into the background for about 300 years. But now, thanks to globalization and the internet, borders are becoming blurry, and cities are stepping back into the spotlight. And when they step, they make the ground shake. Let's talk numbers, because they are staggering. A network of just 600 cities now generates 2/3 of the entire world's economic output. 2/3. To put that into perspective, the metropolitan area of Seoul produces more economic value than most countries. New York City's annual budget is larger than the national budgets of 160 different nations. By 2050, it's predicted that 70% of us will live in urban areas, and those areas will create over 80% of the world's wealth. The world's biggest banks and financial institutions? They aren't spread out. They're concentrated in just 9 cities, including London, New York, and Shanghai. This isn't just wealth. It's leverage on a global scale. This economic power is translating into real political influence. We're seeing the rise of what's called city diplomacy. When global problems like climate change, pandemics, or migration seem too big for national governments to handle, mayors are stepping up. They're forming their own international clubs. Take the C40 Cities Climate Leadership Group. It's a network of nearly 100 of the world's biggest cities, all committed to taking bold climate action. Many argue this group of mayors did the groundwork that made the huge 2015 Paris Climate Accord possible. They're not waiting for permission from their national governments. They're forming a new layer of global governance, one city at a time. Of course, when there's this much power up for grabs, the major world powers take notice. Cities have become the new arenas for strategic competition. You've probably heard of China's massive Belt and Road Initiative. It's essentially a plan to build infrastructure and create connections between cities across the globe, extending China's influence. In response, you have the G7's Build Back Better World and the EU's Global Gateway. It's a global chess match where the board is a network of megacities, and the pieces are pipelines, data cables, and trade routes. Some experts predict that by 2025, about 40 of these megacities will be so powerful, they'll act almost like independent countries. Now, this rapid shift isn't without its problems. All this growth is putting a huge strain on housing, transportation, and public services. Issues like inequality and pollution are becoming more serious in these giant urban centers. But here's the optimistic part. These challenges are also turning cities into giant laboratories for innovation. They are the breeding grounds for the smart solutions we desperately need. From sustainable transport systems to new forms of inclusive government, cities are on the front lines, experimenting and building a more resilient future for all of us. So, the evidence is stacking up. We live in a world that is becoming more urban every single day. The city is no longer just a backdrop for our lives. It's becoming a central character in the story of our planet. These hubs of money, culture, and new ideas are rewiring the entire global system. The lines between local and global are dissolving. It seems the future won't be decided in national capitals alone, but built and bargained for in the bustling, chaotic, and brilliant metropolises that are humanity's greatest creation. Thanks for listening to G Fun Facts Online.